today's technology, and if so, and what type of technology is required, and who are the providers of those technologies, and finally what should be the deployment strategy. I think that's the most important, which will be driven by the policy. Actually, we have many technologies, but how to use, how to deploy in appropriate, I think that's a matter of concern for everybody, and ultimately it should meet the objective for which it is meant. Then I'll just briefly sum up. So let us just understand and remind ourselves, we are all basically from industry and the agriculture background, and as we know, and it would be reality that future agriculture is science driven and knowledge intensive, technology oriented, I think, which nobody can stop it. But the whole issue is how to use the technology is more important. That I'll come to in another slide. Because the life is increasing, number is going, and diversification is taking place. There is a demand for resources. So all these factors really stress the need for technology. Now, very imported oriented or as domestic oriented. I think that's the important point now. Many our honorable members are raising the issue how we are going to meet the requirement of the food security bill without ensuring the security for the ultimate food producers, that is the farmers. So therefore, technology is ultimate solution. What type of technology is a different matter, because we have to really look at the food sovereignty perspective when we are talking about food security. The kind of food security what we achieved 30 years back now is different what we have today. We really achieved the self-sufficient in cereals, but today we lost 60% of the sovereignty in pulses and edible oils. Already Dr. Saxena was mentioning, despite the 40 years of the existence of the ICRISAT and pulse research by the ICR institutes, still we didn't make much impact on the pulse production. And the demand for pulse are increasing, but the edible oils demand is increasing. And 80,000 crores now today government of India is spending on the demand, also coming from the other non-farm sectors to release the farm resources, both human resources as well as the physical resources. Obviously, development will not be achieved simply through agriculture. As we develop more and more, urbanization is inevitable, industrialization is inevitable, and of course feminization is inevitable, and mechanization is inevitable. These are the four phases any country passes if really you want to develop. And if you go on just talking only agriculture without looking at the non-farm sector, obviously India will be always a developing country. It will never reach the developed country. So therefore we have to release resources. Obviously, if you want to go and develop the non-farm sector, we have to. There is always a conflict. Sometimes the demand for the resources are sometimes common. For example, land is essential for industries, essential for institutions, essential for urbanization. So we have to release the land. If you want to release the land without affecting the domestic production, we have to increase the productivity. That means we need technology. I think from that perspective also we need more technologies in the years to come. Technology that basically have varieties as well as the associated with a very strong policy, pro-farmer oriented policy. These two real drivers that brought the green revolution, that brought the food security and food sovereignty to the country until mid-80s. Then later only problem started actually. We are maintaining food security but not sovereignty. I think that is a real concern for all the people, because we always feel that nation is the first. So therefore, we don't want to depend on food for large quantity of food. Of course, you can always take 5%, 10%, but not 60% of the requirement, not 50% of the requirement. We can always give and take approach in the globalization. Nothing is wrong, but not heavily. I think that's a very danger for the national security also in the years to come. Little expensive, but today rice farmers may not believe why I should have a drip irrigation under Naga and Sagar or somewhere. But it is going to be reality in the years to come. You can't just use the water the way you are using today. In the next 20, 30 years to come, definitely that is going to be reality, but takes time. Because generally our intent is, it's a demand driven. Unless something is pressure, then we don't do it. I think that's the kind of mindset we have. So therefore, the zero till is also like that. Now we never really imagined 30 years back that it's going to be reality. It's only academic purpose, publications purpose, but now it is becoming reality. So therefore, I think resource conservation technology development process has to be continued. Although whether it is directly accepted by the farmers today, but it is going to be a reality in the years to come. Then other most important is the stress. I think this is the most important, both abiotic and biotic stresses. I think that there's no need for, that's what is where your genetic modification is coming in. But the whole issue is how safe is, I think that point I will come later. So therefore the stress tolerance is more important. Now that is a big challenge in sustainable agriculture. Stress coming from the both abiotic and biotic forces. So that is another most important kind of technology that is the need for today's agriculture.